Hey there, teenage Baltimore. And I will not be doing that all season. I will get that out of the way right now. In all seriousness, welcome everyone to season one of Applause Survivor. Welcome to the 60s. We are very excited to have you guys on board. It's going to be a really fun season for sure. But before we do get into, all the festivities and whatnot, we got to get serious for a little bit because this is a Hairspray themed org, and I do think that it's important that we bring up that we are well aware that Hairspray is a show that deals with some very heavy racial topics going on during a very tumultuous time for many groups of people. These topics are very much relevant today, and they're way bigger than anything involving this game. However, the spirit and fun of the show is something that's truly infectious, and I think fans of the show can agree is really something special. So we want this theme to be remembered for the big hair, bright colors, and numerous crazy dances shown throughout the decade, but in no way do we want to minimize how devastating of a time period this was for many. So please remember, we do not tolerate any kind of racism or prejudice within the game, and unlike the 60s, you will face consequences for it here. As always, your prod chat is open to support you inside and outside the game at all times, so please reach out if you need us at any time. With that being said, we would like to welcome you all to the 60s. And with that being said, we'll get more into the rules here. So we got that's something that was, I think, very important to address. So we got that out of the way. Getting into, some of the rules, like we said before, any instances of bullying, racism, homophobic, transphobic, or any other hateful comments, it would just not be tolerated at all. It's one thing to call someone out for making a dumb move. It's another to make personal attacks outside the scope of the game. Just please, just don't do that. I feel like this cast is going to be good with that. I don't think that's something that we're going to have to worry about. But if it is, we will not tolerate it. Definitely not something that we want to have to deal with. But it's always something to bring up because we've seen it definitely does happen before. I hope that it doesn't happen in this game, but it's always something that we gotta stress. And any hateful comments towards prod members also will very much be taken into account. A lot of us, we are trying to do the best that we can here. If it's criticism, obviously that's something that we always do appreciate, but any personal attacks or anything like that, just we don't want that. That's not something that we really need. Cross-tribal communication, let's talk about it. It's never allowed. We recognize that many of you are friends outside this game. However, unless told directly by production, we ask that you refrain from any discussion regarding the game with those friends or really anyone else. Really just something that we don't want to have to worry about. We want to keep things fair. We want to keep everyone, we care a lot about the integrity of the game, and we want to make sure you guys have the most fulfilling experience possible, and we don't want something to compromise our game in any way. So please just try to refrain from any cross-tribal communication throughout the season. Also, in addition to that, there is no screenshotting or quoting messages. Screenshots are only allowed within your prod chat. Again, this is something that we just don't want to see happen. Announcements and updates will also be posted in a separate chat for the game. Let's talk about that chat. I saw a couple of you already, and that's fine. You weren't as aware, but nobody is allowed to talk there to keep important information accessible. That chat is solely for just keeping you guys updated on what's going on. And the reason why we don't want you guys to talk in there is because it's just going to become very overwhelming for us. The information that we have in there is likely going to be stuff about tribes and, comps that you guys have won and things like that. And we do not want anything to overlap that. So that's the main reason why we want to really just stress to not talk in the announcements chat at all. Any instance of cheating also is something that, we don't want to have to think about, but it very well could happen, and it's going to be handled on a case-to-case basis. We ask that you please just refrain from doing so to allow for a much more enjoyable season for both players and production alike, and not following could result in removal from the game. Again, this is something that we really don't want to have to do, but it is something that could always come up, so we got to stress that. Let's talk about chats, right? So we are going to ask you guys to add any prod members to any one-on-one chats and or alliance chats. mainly because like this is how we're going to get the fairest possible assessment of you and others' games. You know, at the end of the season, when we're talking about your games and things like that, we don't want to unfairly talk about your game. We don't want to talk about your game in an inaccurate manner. Like if you did more than we thought you did, this is our way of knowing like what you did throughout the game, who you talked to, who you had close, you know, connections with and things like that. This is our way of getting to see the fullest experience of your game, and that is why we do ask for that. Also, any video calls for the same reason must also be recorded in the event prod isn't able to get on call. We really just want to know what's going on within the game, but also if the call is good enough, this is something we could potentially use for promotional materials in the upcoming seasons, because there could be some really juicy stuff that happens within a call, and we might want to, we might want to share that for other seasons for sure. So that's definitely something that we definitly do want to do.
Oh, wait, Kevin, you're on every text, like on this Skype thing?
No. Just Skype chats.
So, but you said any one-on-one conversation. So if I send a DM to one, you're on all them. Does your phone just like die all day?
Any one-on-one conversations on Skype.
This is insane. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we want.
Oh my God, I'm in all of you guys. Let me.
Okay, so next one here, we saw a couple of you actually ask this earlier on. In terms of prod chats, you guys can add a maximum of 3 guests within your production chat. We do ask that these guests, they're not allowed to be in no more than 2 prod chats at a time. So we ask that you do ask permission before adding guests and things like that. You know, we don't want them to know too much of what's going on. We don't want any like breaches within the game or things like that. So yeah, no more than 3 prod guests per person. And as always, you are always welcome to message prod about anything. This season is partially school theme, not all the way, but partially school theme. You can think of us as your guidance counselors here to help you through anything that may be troubling you. We also have a open door policy and always put our players' mental health and safety into account above other things. Even if you think it's stupid or trivial, don't hesitate to come to us. Again, all this stuff is stuff that you guys probably know about. I don't think it's stuff we're going to have to worry about, but if there's, you know, any sort of, you know, it's always something that we do need to bring up within games because it has happened before. And yeah, so that's all the like, you know, housekeeping things. Allie's going to go more into some of the other stuff you guys might want to know about, which are confessionals. But Susie, I think you have a question. I see your hands raised. Yes, hi, you're muted.
Okay, I had to unmute. Okay, so wait, example.
Yes.
Colin and Heather and Marvin and me are in an alliance.
Yes, you have to add prod to it.
Hypothetically.
Yes.
We're hey Colin, hey Marvin, hey who was the other one?
Let's do it.
I forget the other one.
Yes, you would have to. You would have to then add prod to that conversation.
So we would have to add them to the conversation.
Yeah. So we can see what's going on.
I guess that makes sense.
And like add me too, you know?
Like when you're talking, I guess that makes sense. When you're talking to like when you're in a reality show, you tell production about your alliance. So that makes sense, I guess. Now that I think about it more.
Yeah, so that's why we do it. Yeah,
all right, hit me up, Colin and Marvin and the other person that I already forget. But yeah.
If you are on the same tribe, of course. If not, then
oh yeah, exactly.
We do want to stress that.
Or if we're not on the same tribe.
With that being said, let's segue into confessionals.
Right.
So Allie, go ahead.
All right. So for confessionals, these are not required, but they're very much encouraged because we just love like hearing everyone's insight. And we also very much encourage VLDRs, which will be sent directly to the VL. Please note, whatever you decide to send to the VL is no longer in our hands, and we are not held liable for any sort of consequence that will have within the game. In terms of live confessionals, we will most likely always be around to do them and accommodate you when we can. Once again, they're not required, but you're more than welcome to do them whenever throughout the season. And then getting into immunity challenges. Most of the time, challenges will be posted directly after the previous tribal council. And then obviously subject to change, which we will notify you if otherwise. And you'll have approximately 24 hours to complete each challenge. And for some challenges, you may be given up to 48 to 72 for completion. There are 3 types of challenges: live, semi-live, and non-live. And live challenges will include both a set time and date. Semi-live will be a challenge that either includes the entire tribe or will be individual. If it includes the tribe, it will be taking place based on that tribe's availability. And if it's individual, it will be done at your own discretion within the time allotted for the specific challenge. Non-live will include anything that you post in your pod chat. All challenges will include various degrees of submissions, and whether it be through tribal. Reminder that the hosts always have the final say when it comes to a challenge results. And if you're concerned about any results, you can always contact us, but please have a legitimate reason otherwise. If you would like to forfeit immunity, it must be done at least 2 hours before tribal. And if it's tribal immunity, everyone on the tribe must collectively agree to give it up. And then if it's individual, you must also select another individual who you will be giving it to 2 hours before tribal. All right. Getting into tribals.
Yes.
They will occur most likely the night after immunity challenge results are announced and will always be on call. The time will be determined by the majority of the tribe and or the cast's most convenient availability. When a tribal takes place, it will be preceded by a series of questions. This is to notify prod about your game experience and or to make for a more eventful tribal. And your vote is due whenever the tribal starts. Like it's always pre-vote. You will then have until whatever time specified to change your vote. Failure to vote will result in either a self-vote or a randomized vote, neither of which will be announced. If you can't make it, please notify us in advance and we will ask you to pre-vote. Tribal attendance isn't mandatory, but highly encouraged. And they'll be recorded always and will be sent to both the VL and unlisted on our YouTube channel, where they will eventually be public once the season's over, as well as to fellow tribes left in the game. A post will be made most times directly after the vote, and that will also then give an official vote count of the vote that will be public. Of course, the knowledge of who voted who will not be given out until after the season. And post-elimination. If you get eliminated before the jury segment of the game begins, don't worry, you will still get to keep up on your favorite dancers in the Courtney Collins show, as you will be added to the VL and will be able to watch the game and interact with everyone who has already been watching and rooting for you throughout the season. And please do not talk about the game with anyone still currently in. It is extremely unfair and when discovered will lead to further consequences.
Yeah, just refrain from that altogether.
If you get eliminated and become a jury member, or as we like to call it, Velma's Resistance, per the rules of Survivor, you will then be put in a jury chat where you will then be able to discuss the game with your fellow jurors. After the season concludes, all jurors and finalists will be added to the VL and the whole cast will be added to a reunion chat to vent about any tea or post-season drama left to iron out for everyone's enjoyment. And all right, Jen's going to talk about everything else.
Period. We're going to move on to some fun stuff instead of boring rules. No, I'm just kidding. Resolve rules. But we're going to
all the important stuff we got to get.
Right? It's so important. But we're going to move on to idols and advantages. Woo! So immunity idols. Huh? What? Hi. So immunity idols will be found in an idol hunt that can be done once every calendar day in your host chat. There is going to be one idol hidden within each tribe. Once the specific idol associated with that tribe has been played, it will then be rehidden and be available again. But however, once we hit merge, there will only be one idol that will be rehidden once it is played. And idols can be played up until the final 5. Other advantages will also be given out discreetly throughout the game. And each non-idol advantage will have its own set of rules attached to it. And then it will be up to said advantage holder whether or not they disclose it to other people. If you plan on playing an idol or advantage, You are required to notify us in your prod chat before tribal. Even if you end up changing your mind, but if you intend on playing it, you just gotta let us know so we have kind of like a heads up. And then for idols, you do have the option to change who you're playing it on. So you may go into it saying maybe you're going to play it on yourself, but then decide at the last second you're going to play it on someone else. That's totally fine as well. Either way, just let us know, just so we're prepared in the meantime. And yeah, that's really it for idols and advantages. And then we're going to move on to our not so fun part of orgs. And that is, it's a necessary evil, but we have to do it. And that is strikes. So strikes, of course, are going to be a last resort for us, and it'll break our hearts to have to implement one. But again, just for precautionary reasons, we do need to bring them up. Strikes are going to be taken into account only if certain things occur. If a player does not compete in a challenge in time without giving us, a message ahead of time, we get it, life gets in the way, but just give us a little heads up what's going on. If a player fails to vote by the start of tribal or doesn't show up to tribal without notifying us, you will receive a strike. And if you have displayed some inappropriate conduct that impedes the game and violates any rules, we will unfortunately have to give you a strike, although I do not expect that having to be an issue with this cast because everyone here is awesome. But yeah, again, we are well aware that everyone has lives outside of this game, but it's just kind of like try to be as courteous as possible to not only your prod members, but your fellow cast members on your tribes. So just being as communicative as possible will be greatly appreciated. If at any time during the game you reach 3 strikes, you will be medically evacuated from the game, aka unfortunately we will have to disqualify you. If this happens during the jury phase, you will still be on the jury as long as nothing happens that's a code of conduct violation. And then last but not least, we'll just very quickly go over the supplies that we're going to be needing. Nothing too crazy. A deck of cards, solo cups, pen and paper. Easy peasy. So other than that, what?
Repeat the items.
Yes. A deck of cards, solo cups, and pen and paper.
So we don't need like a pool in our backyard.
No, not for this game.
Not for this. Great.
Not this
Okay.
season. Not this season.
This
Sorry to
season,
interrupt.
maybe another
Whenever we
time.
do applause Teen Beach movie.
Do the solo cups have to be a certain size? Because in Ireland, they are different.
I don't.
That's a good. I don't know actually. I think that something like this is preferable.
Okay.
As long as it's not like a little baby one.
Yeah.
Okay. In Ireland, they are the baby ones.
Oh my God.
They just
I
need to be the little
will-
shot ones.
I will find an alternative if I can.
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll work
Okay.
it out.
Otherwise,
Alright.
if you can afford a flight to Wisconsin, you can stay here.
All right.
Say more.
All right.
That being said, before we do wrap things up here, there's one last little order of business that we got to get through. We do have to talk about. So, season 1, we got to spice things up a little bit to really stick out here. So if in Hairspray, if you are familiar with the theme this org is based upon, there is a competition called Miss Teenage Hairspray. It is a champion that it's something that everybody really wants to get. Everyone's really vying for it. And, basically within the movie, the way this is determined is they get a series of tallies. People call in, say who they like, and that's how it works. Now, obviously, we can't do that. That's not how this is going to work. That being said, we still got to implement some kind of Miss Teenage Hairspray in here. So what we're going to do instead is Miss Teenage Hairspray is our twist of the season. Basically, you are playing in this game. You're not in the Corny Collins show yet. You want to get to the Corny Collins show. That's at Merge. You want to make sure that you get there. And there's a way that you can, in fact, get there. So in typical Survivor games, the way that it works is there are two tribes. One tribe is immune and one is not. And that may not necessarily be the case this time around. Now, there's still two tribes. We're not one worlding or anything like that. But what we are going to do is, in addition to the tribe that wins immunity, there will be one other person that is immune within the other tribe. Now, how will this be determined, you may ask? Whoever ends up doing the best within a comp, within the other tribe will end up also winning immunity. They will be immune for the round, and pretty much the rest of the tribe are the only people that will be eligible to be voted for, which means, yes, for the time you're in the tribe, every single comp, you will be scored individually. And we already have determined how that is going to work. We will let you know throughout, before every comp starts, how that is going to work. And also you may say, well, how am I going to know when it's time for Miss Teenage Hairspray? Well, let's see. I'm going to pull up this video right here. Whenever it is time for Miss Teenage Hairspray, this is what's going to happen. If I can find it, hold on. I had it pulled up. Let me find it. While you guys pick your jaws off the ground.
Ding, 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 ding.
Where the hell is it? Oh, it's in alphabetical order. Okay. I have too many fucking files on my computer. There it is. Here we go. This is how it'll be determined. Can everyone see my screen? Or the video that's playing? Okay.
I just see it. Yep, here we go.
You're good now.
All right. So whenever somebody wins Miss Teenage Hairspray, this is what will happen. Yeah, so Allie's the example. You will see your name appear behind the curtain. If your name appears behind that curtain, congratulations, you've won Miss Teenage Hairspray for the round, which means you will also be immune. You will also be immune on your tribe and cannot be voted for that round. Now, how is that going to change how you guys thought your game was going to go? That is entirely up to you. Yes, Marcelo.
I only saw a red curtain. I didn't see anything move.
Did I?
That's the moving part.
Oh, it was Allie behind the curtain. It was an example.
Maybe it's just the lag.
Yeah, I guess it lagged, but yeah, basically the end of the video will show like who won Miss Teenage Hairspray behind the curtain. So that's how it's gonna work. But anyway. So how does that change how you guys were going to play the game moving forward? That's entirely up to you. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Will it benefit you? Will it not benefit you? That's entirely up to you guys. But other than that, let the games begin. Good luck to all of you. We are very excited to host this season, and we hope you guys have a wonderful game. If there's any other questions, we will take them before this wraps up. Noah, go ahead.
You get our tribes yet?
Yes. Oh, yes. After, I forget to say, after this, you will be placed into your tribe chat.
Hey, like,
Yes, you will be placed in your tribe chats immediately after this. And stay tuned. Don't get too comfortable, because at midnight we will be revealing the first tribe challenge of the season, as well as the idol search will be open at midnight. So definitely look forward to all of those things. If we have any other questions, yes, Susie, hello.
Hey, wait, so we get our tribe.
Yes.
When's the next time we need to be on a video call?
That will be whenever Tribal's happening, or when we give out results. We're gonna post We're gonna post what the challenge is.
Unless you guys also want to like have tribe calls and stuff.
Oh yeah, always.
If we have a tribe call, does a prod need to be on it?
Yes.
Well,
no.
As long as it's recorded.
There, you just need to make sure if
yeah, just record it. There's because that's one of the reasons we want you guys to record it, so that way we get to see everything, and we might not always be on the call. So yeah, just make sure it's recorded.
Okay,
right. Sean, help,
I trust that someone else in my tribal knows how to record it.
Sean.
I think I've had too much to drink tonight, so the twist thingy is that only for the losing tribe?
Yeah, so the way it's gonna
Okay.
work is you already have the one tribe that's immune. In addition to that tribe, the person who performs the best within the challenge will be immune for the round. So yeah, that's how it's gonna work. All right. If we have no other questions, oh, Cody, yes.
How many holes does a straw have?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I've been told 1 and 2
I feel like
and 3.
Who said 3?
3. Well,
was-
that is a very
Yeah.
interesting question,
shit
and we're
in
gonna find out. You know what? This is a very rousing conversation. You can continue this conversation within your tribe chat because we're gonna place you guys there right now, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for the night. So say goodbye to YouTube, and we will.
Can we
see you
figure
guys later.
can we figure it out before midnight though?
Yeah, we're gonna put
Bye,
you.
YouTube.
Yes, we will see you in there. All right.
Yes, we're gonna be making the tribe chats, or we're gonna add you guys to the tribes very shortly.
Yes. All right. We're gonna go ahead and
Okay.
stop recording.